When does healing become activation? This was something that I've been thinking about for the last couple of days after I went on a solo retreat, which I believe that every person who is interested in self-growth, inner work, ascension, self-mastery, you should be going on some sort of solo retreat, solo homecoming, intentionally with yourself. As often as you need to do, but definitely like once a year at the minimum. And this retreat was very eye-opening to the fact that I need to do more work. I need to do more healing. I need to do more deeper work. And yet I realized, and with this new game to play, because life is a game, I felt very annoyed and very irritated because the tropes, the themes of this new level of healing were familiar in its essence, but in its presentation, it was so different. And I knew its essence, and I was so emotionally and mentally frustrated because I didn't want to do this again. I don't want to do this again. And I was upset that this is now the game I had to play. I felt borderline insulted with this information to an extent because I was on a spiritual perspective of looking down on this type of things of I should have been past this point, but now I'm back to almost what I felt like rudimentary, basic ass triggers and frustrations and issues once again. And I just sat on that feeling for almost a full day, just ruminating, sulking, crying, and directionless, because I didn't want to go through this process of healing again. And what kept coming up in the subsequent days that followed was, this is still your assignment. So either play the game or choose to sit out, but there is no up-leveling if you don't play the game. And two, who said you're healing? Are you just activating? And the more I ponder on this difference of when does healing just become activation, right? When do we stop healing and just become activated? Healing is so past tense and so past driven that when we do it over and over and over and over again, and we feel like, okay, I've done months, sometimes years, sometimes decades of healing, why am I still healing? I've done the self-isolation, I've done the retreats, I've done the therapy, I've done the coaching, I've done this. When do we stop healing and just start being activated? Embodying. And that's when I realized for myself that, oh, same triggers, the essence is the same. The presentation is different because it's not asking you to heal. is asking you to embody. And furthermore, is asking you to activate on a deeper, faster level. When I initially got this assignment for this spiritual emotional assignment to like work on my own triggers, I literally was like, oh, this is going to take me like a full year. This is going to take me a full year. And then I was like, you could low-key bang this out like trigger free in like 6 hours, in an hour. Start today. What are you doing right now to deal with this? Because when we think of healing, we think of like long term and so drawn out and so many layers and going back so many like steps and just to reach the beginning, right? To reach the source of what you need to heal. But there comes a point in your healing journey that you actually need to just stop healing and just be activated. There comes a point where you're not meant to actually go down the mountain each time to come back up the mountain just to be where you are. You're supposed to acknowledge, heal emotionally, and continue walking up the mountain. No need to go back down to the bottom of the mountain to then start back up again and then move one step and then have another assignment to then go back down the mountain again. No. You just activate. It's remembering that you've done this plenty of times. It's recalling that you are a master at healing. You know how to heal. You know how to process. You know how to unravel triggers. You know how to emotionally regulate, if not upregulate. You know what is being asked of you. You can feel it in your body. Your womb space is calling out to this specific concern, this specific issue, this specific desire. You're not told to turn around and go all the way to the beginning of healing to then just come back and say, oh yeah, here are the tools. You're supposed to come with the tools. Remember who you are. It's not time to go back to square one. No, if you're on square 47 and you're being asked to quantum leap to square 55 from 47, you don't go back to square one. It's like impractical. You make the jump because you have walked each square from square 0 all the way to square 47 with intentional, purposeful steps. Healing. You have done healing. You've done healing multiple times. So when another thing comes up, when something big is asked of you, it's not always, let's go back to square one again. No, it's now time to put all that healing into actual embodiment, action, activation. Make the jump, make the leap to square 55. Do the impractical thing. Literally, I was like, what am I even saying to myself? Saying it's going to take me 6 months to a year to deal with this. I can deal with this in a weekend. I can deal with this in a day. Because I am the healer who has been healed. I carry the tools of the healer. I carry the tools of the beginning. I know what I've done to get to this point. I know every single step. I've done every single step. It is not in anyone's interest to then try to go back to step 0 just to move up to step 48. No, I want to jump to 55. I want to make a leap. I want to jump. Don't allow healing or the word healing to deter you from being activated. Sometimes you don't need more healing. You just need to activate. Many times we get so stuck in this interplay of, oh, I'm healing and now I'm healed, but then something happened, so now I have to go back to healing. Like this back and forth. No, take your healed self who is still healing and continue walking. As messy as it is, as incorrect as it feels, as haphazard as it may look to others, take your healed self with all your healing things and keep going forward. That is the activation. We are seeking perfection on the road to wants and desires. Perfection was never on the docket. It was never a requirement. We have made it a requirement because of our ego, because of our inner traumas, because of our inner child, because of what we want for ourselves. But what we want for ourselves is not what is desired and truly asked of us. We are asked to come as we are with the utmost purpose of growth, with the ideas and ideals of inner work, with the understanding of I'm going to do better. I'm actually going to change. I'm actually on the road of change, on this journey of change. That is the one ask on the road of desires. Are you willing to make the changes? Are you willing to grow? Are you willing to ascend so that you can become the desires that you want? And if you can answer yes at every single road checkpoint and roadblock, you will continue. Delulu is the Salulu, but the solution, the actual delusion is in growth. Do you trust your growth? That is the delusional statement. Do you trust your growth? And if you do not have trust in your growth, then you revert back to, oh, I'm going to go heal. Because that is familiar to you. You've done therapy, you've done healing, you've done coaching, you've done this, you've done that. Okay, so when are you going to stop healing and stop reverting back to what is familiar to you and actually just embody and activate? When are you going to activate? And that's not to say you will never have to go back and heal, never get it. No, healing may be the answer later on. But I also have noticed for myself and in others that many times we default to healing when there's a problem versus defaulting to activation, defaulting to just do it, like Nike, defaulting to I'm going to process while I do it, exposure therapy, defaulting to just being courageous, not confident, having courage to just do it. We've made healing our default. Therapy is a safe space. When, yes, we've come leaps and bounds, and these tools are still always at our disposal, but we are not in a perpetual state of healing. We need to want to move out of that for ourselves. We need to want to move into a space of activation, embodiment, exposure. Stop being scared. Sometimes you don't have to heal from a trigger. Sometimes you just need to process it and move on. Not everything needs to last months and years so that you can have a semblance of normalcy in your life. You're fine. You're normal. You're more than okay. It's actually your God-given right to be happy. actually. And I like healing like the next girlie likes healing. But does it make me happy? It may make me feel a number of emotions. But healing, does it make me happy? It can even bring me joy. But does it make me happy? Not always. And most of the time, not really. Because healing is challenging. Activation, growing in courage, moving along, multitasking, wanting and knowing that I can heal and do other things. I can walk and talk at the same time. Tie my shoelace. Come on. We don't need to go back down the mountain, back to the valley and lay in the meadow to heal. No, we just need to continue walking up to the summit. Stop turning around every time something small or something tragic or some roadblock comes into your life and you're like, oh, give up, need to walk back down. Like, stop. This is a message to me and you. We need to stop. When you get told something, when you see a roadblock, when tragedy strikes again, stop. Stop feeling the need to turn around and run back into healing mode. Just stay where you are for a moment and ask yourself, what do I really want again? Because sometimes, most of the time, we're actually much closer to our desire than we are closer to walking back down, backwards into our old selves to go do healing. We're actually many times so much closer to our desire than we are to healing. Running back to get more information and read more options and go back. Just make a decision already. Just make a decision. Are you going to continue up or are you going to go back down? And I will say this a third time. Many times we're closer to the top than we are closer to the bottom. That is healing. Healing has gotten you to this point. Activation is what is required for you to hit your target. Becoming confident in what you've done already. Trusting yourself that no matter what happens as you continue up the summit on the journey of your desires, you're going to be well prepared for it. You will have unlimited resources to back you up, and you trust yourself in all the things of your past that got you here. You recall your steps. You know where your feet have been. So why are you running down the mountain to do up healing? Take a breath and stop. Ask yourself, what do I want again? And decide to activate. Decide to activate all that healing, all that ancestral power, all that motivation, all that raw potential energy behind you. Decide to activate. Decide to be courageous in your step forward. And trust that you've made it this far because you are beyond worthy of making it this far, and you have actual proof to your path behind you. You actually have walked up this mountain plenty of times. This stage of the game is not time to turn around. It's actually time to keep up. Lock in. Hunker down. Commit. This is your summit. You're way closer to the top than you are to the bottom. Activate. Activate. Activate.